in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys on the topic, why should I buy an EC now? So Alvin,
Okay.
do you want to talk
Alright.
about a few pointers why we should actually buy an EC now?
Okay. We have three reasons to share. So for the first reason, we believe, and I think we all know, EC is actually a Singaporean privilege that is actually created by our own government. Our beloved government have planned this for longest time to allow HDB upgrader like you guys out there to be able to go to achieve your dream home in the next stage. And this is only for Singaporean household, not foreigner or those without a Singaporean household. So family nucleus with at least one Singaporean, you can actually buy an EC. Yeah, it's your privilege as a Singaporean household. All right, and of course, as we all know, EC has a much lower entry price, easily 20-30% lower than a private condominium. So it's actually a privilege for Singaporeans to move from the HDB and upgrade themselves to an executive condominium. So of course, you have a lot of many other privileges, like you can have a grant. You know, if you are a first timer, the government is supporting you. Again, this is all about the Singaporean privilege. For holding the Singaporean passport or the IC, you are entitled. It's your privilege to own an executive EC. So there's something to bear in mind as our first reason that you should consider being a HDB upgrader. Okay, now we shall hear from Josh. He will share with you the second reason, which you must pay attention, as this is going to be something very exciting.
Thank you, Alvin. Now we are move on to our reason number 2. So for reason number 2, why EC is actually a better choice than a private condominium. Reason number 2 is it's more market resilient. To this market resilient, we actually have 2 reasons for this. Point number 1, it is actually you actually have a lower entry price. So what do we mean by lower entry price? In comparison to a new condominium in the market today, if we just look at in terms of region in OCR, outside central region, if we compare a EC to a private condominium, the entry price for EC is actually 20-30% lower. So if we put that in numbers, for EC, the entry price in today's market in OCR could possibly be around $1,150 per square feet, whereas for a private condominium, we are looking at as high as $1,300 per square feet. So for entry price alone, we are already saving about $200 per square feet. That is the importance of right entry price. So let's move on to pointers number 2, which is it's easier for a EC owner to exit. What do you mean by that? Let's fast forward. Let's say today you buy an EC. 5 years later, if you were to sell your EC, who are your competitors? They might be people like a private condominium owners. So if you were to sell 5 years later, were to sell your EC, as compared to a private condominium owners who will be competing with you to sell, actually both of you can sell at about the same price or even lower for an EC owner. So for EC owner, if you can sell at a much lower price than a private condominium owner, actually you have a upper hand, or you have an advantage in terms of exit price. So that is what we mean by it's easier for an EC owner to exit. So now we shall move on to reason number 3.
Moving to reason number 3, we are talking about supply and demand. And as we all know, how many EC are there in the market as launched by the government? There's only quite a handful. Supply and demand. There are huge demand of HDB upgrader, but there are not many supply of EC, brand new EC. There's a high demand, as we all know. But as we say, what is the supply situation? Park Canberra in north of Yishun is so quickly, almost like sold out right now. But in the first 1-2 weeks is actually more like 80% sold. The next example is Provence, also just next to Park Canberra. It was more than 50% sold. So we all know that EC is a very sought after real estate property. I can name many others like this Ola in Sengkang, and we also know there are a few others, in Pongo, like Pyrmont Grant. So the supply are limited. Hence, it's definitely a very good choice if you are eligible, right, to enter into the EC market. Why do I say if you're eligible? Because as I say in my reason number one, this is a privilege only given to Singaporean household. It's not whether are you affordable to get an EC. First thing is whether are you eligible to get into an EC. And if you eligible for EC, you should take a chance on it, as because supply and demand does give you a lot of advantage moving forward. As Josh had just mentioned a moment ago, in 5 years time, who is going to compete with you in terms of the pricing and the potential profit that you will get? So that's the 3 reasons that we have shared. And maybe let me get Josh here to share with you some major takeaway. Okay, so now we have here these 3 super reasons why you should buy an EC. But that's a major takeaway. Let me let Josh share this important pointer to you.
So what is the major takeaway for EC owners? It's actually EC owners have the privilege to use deferred payment scheme.
Yes.
So what does it really mean? It means that you can actually defer your down payment until the end where you get your key for your EC. That means you don't have to put in the lump sum today when you buy your EC. You can defer it until you get the key, and you can get to stay in your existing HDB until the day you get your key, which is the TOP of the EC. That is the major takeaway for EC owners.
So if you want to know more, you can call this number on the screen. As we speak, there's actually one EC that's going to be launched very soon. We call it Park Greenwich. Okay, maybe George, you can explain a little about this project.
Sure. Yeah? Alright, Park Greenwich is the upcoming EC located at Fernville. So where is Fernville? It's at Sengkang. What's so good about this project is because there's plenty of amenities and it is very strategically located. Mm-hmm. And what is the major takeaway for this EC? The TOP date is actually on the 4th quarter of 2023, which means you don't have to wait so long if you were to go for BTOs where you get to wait for another 6 to 7 years. So EC, TOP sooner.
Okay, so that's all we have for today. And again, remember, like us in this channel, subscribe to our channel, and remember to turn on the notification bell right below. Alright, okay, see you next time. Bye.